G'day and welcome to the Map. My name's Tubes Taylor for Duff TV. 2020, the year of no football potentially, but it's back, and I'm joined by Peach up in Launceston. G'day, Peach.
G'day, Tubes. We are indeed back. We've got ourselves isolated in our own houses, and geez, your hair looks good from a distance, I've got to say.
Yeah, had a COVID cut, mate. I'm very excited, though. We've seen some SFLW happening already this season, and the men get kicked off this week, Peach.
Yeah, we're pretty excited. So SFLW was the starting game. So a lot of player movement over the off-season, and quite a few movement of players from clubs into particularly this team, Claremont, who had a rousing victory over Brighton last year's Premier. So Brighton have lost, I think they lost about 6th place from their senior list. They've moved on to some other clubs, mostly the state league. So they're a little bit down from what they were last year. Claremont are the team coming, Tubes. I reckon we might see some superstar forwards from the Claremont women's team that really made life difficult for Brighton.
Oh, absolutely, mate. And as you say, the premiers from last year got smashed by Claremont. A good effort all round by the girls from out there at Brighton. But this girl on screen, Netta Lynch, she is a star and come over from Glenorchy last year and got them on the board pretty early out there at Abbotsfield Park. But your favourite player out at Claremont, who's that?
Well, Netta Lynch just did bag a few. Nat Daniels, so she bagged 4. But, yeah, they've got a few good players from Glenorchy, Claremont. In the last couple of weeks, they've been able to get those girls transferred across. And so Claremont looked like maybe one of the big movers this season. And they play Abbotsfield Park pretty well. I saw them the first game last year. They don't mind moving the ball laterally, which really suits them. Brighton more style, just try and get their running game going. But the strategy of Claremont's really good, and here's an example of get the ball out the back. Daniels is such good at positioning herself, getting her body in the right spot and taking those marks, and we'll see how good a kick is in a sec as well.
Fabulous Phil there, boys. Fabulous Phil, the umpire on the mark.
She's a beautiful
He loves it, doesn't he? And, yeah, a left footer. Fabulous Phil always wears a hat too, even at night time. He wears a hat to bed, apparently.
A bit strange, wasn't it, Peach? Of course, Martin Duffy is the voice you can hear in the background. Good evening, Duff.
Oh, great to be here, Tubes. I'm just going to be in the background pushing the buttons here, so you won't see much of me at all. But we're really excited about the footy, and it was great to be out there last Friday night to see the girls open the season for the SFLW. Fantastic.
So let's take a look at the results from round 1 of the SFLW up on screen. Peach.
Well, look, there were some big results in relation to scoreboard. Norfolk had a big season last year where they didn't manage to get many sausage rolls, and it's unfortunately continued for them early in the season. North Hobart have certainly improved, and there's a lot of excitement down there at North Hobart headquarters with their ladies team this year. Claremont, as we mentioned, confident, big win, big recruits. They're going to be the team to look at potentially this season. University of Hobart, University I should say in Hobart, Jerry down there, Jerry Day with University, has done a great job, so they've certainly picked up from last season. Southeast Suns, a few years ago, they were the gun team of the competition. Really competitive game against the Port. So imagine both those teams will be featuring at the back end of the year. And Lindisfarne, the Lady Blues, perennial team in the SFLW. We're going to see them this week, I think, as well. They had a commanding victory over Kingborough, 6-14-50. So one I'd like to say, guys, high scoring. The teams that obviously scored really high scoring matches. And there's our ladder. And as you mentioned, Tubes, I think at the start of this, there's some big numbers there. Let's hope we can turn those percentages around.
1,000,000%, Peach. That's not too
I'm not
bad
sure of sports. I'm not sure of Sports TG, which is obviously the software that everyone uses to put the scores in. It actually blew up from all the results from the SFLW on the weekend. The scores were so large.
One thing I'll say, Peach, is the quality of football from the women has certainly improved. We've watched it a lot here at Duff TV, and I can't wait to see this season play out.
Yeah, no doubt. And the ebb and flow of female football is that there are some player movements. There's a lot of good young players coming through, which are improving. And if you look at 13s and 14 girls football, the standard is in many ways nearly better than senior football. They're just not quite as strong and as fit. So technically the better players are coming through. We're going to see it improve every year, no doubt.
So the great news is, Peach, this year at Duff TV we'll be live streaming an SFLW match pretty much every week, as well as an SFL Seniors men's side every single week on Duff TV. So I'm really excited about this week because it's our first game. We'll be going up to the TCO. Martin Duffy, you're pretty excited about that too.
Oh, it's just great to get this support from the SFL. Been working pretty hard, as you know, Tubes, to get this across the line, and our thanks to Russell, the president, and of course David Manshannon working hard in the background to make this happen. And yeah, looking forward to getting up the TCA this week and getting the first games underway, mate.
Of course, with crowds restricted to 500, Peach, it's a great way for the punters to be able to tune in and see their favourite local footy side.
Yeah, it's been awesome. So Stately's been broadcasting their games live, and now we're going to have an opportunity to see community football. So no doubt this is, I believe the only community football outside of Stately that's going to be broadcast live on the weekend, and also for the rest of the season they get across it, because the complications with crowd numbers, certainly this opportunity from Duff is pretty awesome. Particularly, it's great to see the girls being equally represented in football, which I think is really important.
Yeah, absolutely. So the TCA ground will be where we're doing our live stream, our game of the round, thanks to EIS and, of course, ID Clothing, and, of course, our sponsors here at Duff TV, Jackson Motor Company and Bennett's Petroleum Mood Food. So the Hobart Tigers...
And Tubes, just quickly, you won't be there?
No, I won't be there this weekend. I've got my niece's fifth birthday in Launceston, so I'll be heading up the Midland Highway, and Peach will be heading back down the Midland Highway, so we'll probably have a coffee at Campbell, Pete.
Mate, Ross Bakery, mate, that's what we'll be going to. I'm not sure they're a sponsor, Duff. We might get them on board.
Well, I think we'll be
Ross
going
Bakery,
to
mate.
Kempton Mood Food, I reckon, is where we'll go, of course. Load up with fuel at Kempton Mood Food. The games this week, Peach, in the SFLW, the Hobart Tigers take on the Lady Blues. New Norfolk take on the Lions up at New Norfolk. Brighton have the Demons, so that'll be a bit of a telltale sign for the Demons versus the Demons out there. But to see where Brighton's really at, Port Power down there, the Signet girls, they take on University at Signet. And then on the Sunday, a Sunday game, the Kingborough Tigers take on Claremont out at Twin Ovals. Any big matchups you're looking forward to there, Peach?
Yeah, Port versus University. I'm really intrigued by this game. So University have a team that's been able to recruit. They've stayed together, got a good young player, it's got a good coaching structure. I know they've thrown a lot of energy into that team. So I imagine versus Port, that'll be a terrific fixture. And looking forward to Saturday. We've got most of the crew back together. We're tubeless for the day, but we'll Hobart Lindisfarne. I think Lindisfarne is certainly one of the most enjoyable teams to watch in any football in the state, the Lady Blues. So looking forward to TCA action and the first game of the year for Duff TV.
Martin Duffy.
Yeah, Tubes, I was hoping you're going to be there.
He's put his hand up.
Well, it's not about me, it's about you two. I was hoping you're going to be there, Tubes, so you could catch up with Rat. Say good day to him.
Yeah,
wish him well for the new season.
I think that this game up at the TCA is going to be an absolute ripper. Alex Gilmore's coaching up at the TCA, so he's recruited quite a few of his former teammates from Richmond. Obviously, Richmond having a hiatus this year, so a lot of those players have gone to different clubs. But Rat's taken a lot of great players up to the TCA, Peach, as well as Lindisfarne, last year's premiers. They've recruited really well with Jackie Crossan coming back, Polanowski from out at Richmond, and Dane Bailey as well, another great midfielder running through the middle. So Jack Gleeson, rather, not Jack Crossan, got confused there. But it'll be a sign as to where Rat's got his Hobart Tigers firing, and seeing where Michael Cassidy's got the boys after the handover from Dan Willing. Dan Willing's taken a back seat over at the Two Blues this year. Other games in the round, Peach, the Dodgers Ferry Sharks have Claremont out at Dodgers Ferry. New Norfolk take on the Huonville Lions up at Boyer. Brighton, how good is it to see them back in the SFL men's side after last year having a hiatus? They'll be taking on Sorrel out at Pontville. It's just terrific to see them back, Peach.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, there's very few teams that have made a comeback after folding. I think it's rarefied air from Brighton, and they kept their reserves teams and the women's team going last year. So credit to them. It's a wonderful comeback, and great to see 9 teams that are buying the comp again.
And of course, Byron Howard's coaching out there. He's had a couple of years off. Hasn't coached footy for a little while, but they've got the big fella back out there, Peachy, and be great.
Big policeman.
Great to see Byron at the helm.
Probably the best full forward in Tasmania from 90 to 1995, I reckon.
He broke his leg on a point post, didn't he? Unlike Lee Matthews, couldn't take a point post.
I reckon he broke point post too, Byron. Yeah.
So how do you think Peach Signet are going to feel? They've got the bye, COVID-19. They've been waiting the longest pre-season ever. they've been sitting down there at Port Signet waiting to play footy, and they got the bye first up.
Down at Put Park, as we've renamed it here on Duff TV. Yeah, look, they'll have to warm themselves, their cockles around Red Velvet Lounge just for a few more weeks, because I know there's a lot of... I mean, it's great there's a comp up, so well done to Russell Young and everyone from the Southern Football League, but yeah, one more week till they get over the saddle and they can launch their team onto an unsuspecting opponent.
How do you think they'll go this year? They were a little bit disappointed in that, or disappointing in that second week of finals last year, lads. What do you think of Signet's chances?
I think they'll do okay. They lost Andrew Palmer. I think he's gone to the Kingborough Tigers, but they've picked up Thor Boscott, who is a real raw talent there, Duff, and I'm really excited to see how he goes at the SFL level. Ben Cato's the consummate professional, and he's surrounded by quite a fair few older heads. Obviously, they made the elimination final last year, Peach, where they had Barry Hall kick a bag up against New Norfolk, but I think they'll be okay, Signet.
Yeah, they've got enough tools to compete every week, and they've got enough decent sort of utility players to run through their midfield to kind of compete in the Southern Football League. Yeah, a couple of misses, but you're right around one or two ends. They'll certainly be fourth or fifth, I'd imagine. Yeah. It's kind of hard to know where Dodgers Ferry are going to go. Some infrastructure stuff happening down at Dodgers Ferry, which is really great, so well done to the Ferry boys. But yeah, I reckon they're fourth and fifth place, probably Claremont at this stage, but they'll be certainly more eager to get back into the season.
I'm really excited, Peach, because this is pretty much the only footy that's happening in the south of the state other than TSL and Old Scholars. So the ODFA folded. We've got Richmond sitting out this year in the Old Scholars. So there's quite a few talented footballers that have come back to the SFL. I'm really excited about this season. I think it's going to be pretty even at the top. There might be a little bit of a gap. And the unknowns of Brighton, Sorrel, Claremont, I'm not sure how they're going to go this year, but it's going to be pretty even, I would suggest.
Yeah, I mean, the last 3 or 4 seasons, the SFL's been generally competitive. New Norfolk's been the one we never saw. They never dropped too far away. They never bottomed out, New Norfolk. So I'd imagine them and Huonville will certainly be pushing with Signet for that sort of bottom part. Lindisfarne is still good. I mean, if you look at their list, they've still got, Brad Tannick and Tom Roberts. So those guys that have been with the club for such a long period of time, Ryan Edmondson and that sort of core group has stayed with them. You're right, Brighton Sorrel, what can they produce? Can they win a few games? Remember, it's a really short season. So you probably, if you can squeak a couple of upsets, you're suddenly a chance for a top 5 or top 4, I should say. So there's certainly an opportunity in a short final season. It's going to be interesting if there's a few upsets early, because it might really start to push the momentum towards some of the unknown, or maybe not unknown, but some of the teams that we're not expecting to potentially feature if there was a full season.
Yeah, all right, Peach. I'm going to give you the questions for the wrap up here, mate. Who are your grand finalists from the SFL? Who are playing in the grand final?
Lindisfarne and Huonville.
Okay, a rematch of last year's grand final. Who are you tipping this week? Oh, Duff. Okay, I'll ask you. You've just popped up, mate. Who are you tipping for?
Just before Duff talks, he looks like he's from the future. He's in look that good a neck, isn't he?
Beautiful.
Magnificent camera, Duff. You're very bright and rosy. It's certainly YouTube material, mate.
Oh, I've been working out at all aerobics gym, and pretty fit.
All aerobics.
My
so
tips,
who have you got?
Look, it's pretty hard to say. I mean, Lindisfarne have just been so solid, haven't they, for so many years now. They're a central-based club. I think it's easy for them to attract players there. They seem to get a lot of Clarence players move across. I think they're going to be there again. As for the other teams, really don't know yet. Can't comment. I just like to wish all the boys out there the best, and hope you have a great season, even though it's only 9 weeks. And what about for the girls? Did we touch on them before, and who do we think are the front runners?
I was about to go back to the girls. So, Peach, who are you tipping for the grand final for the SFLW?
I think North Hobart have been building for a couple of years in Claremont. I'd love to see 2 sort of new teams launch into that. So North Hobart, Claremont, for me, I just really like the North Hobart side. I like the culture and the spirit amongst that particular team. So North Hobart, Claremont. And
for you, Duff, who are you tipping there?
Well, if you speak to Christine Carr, she will tell you that Claremont girls will go all the way. So I'm going for Claremont. As for the other girls, again, just like to wish everybody a successful season, and hopefully we can just close the gap a little bit in that competition.
All right. Well, I think we'll wrap it up there for this evening. All the best to
the SFL. Just got to call out first, Tubes, to interrupt you, because this is what your brother does on his rival show in Northern Tassie. Just a couple of big mentions around this weekend, and other return to play from AFL Tas. This is coming from me at AFL Tas, just to ensure that if anyone's drinking, make sure they're seated in any of the wet areas around Southern Football League and the old scholars. And don't run onto the ground. Don't be a pest and run onto the ground. I think you can have a kick at three-quarter time or potentially quarter time as well. And the other big thing is be friendly to the volunteers at all the games. We've had an awesome couple of weeks of community football, and we want to keep that one going.
Well, Peach, I'm a little bit shocked that you didn't think I was going to do all that, Peach, as a responsible adult of the group. I was, of course, going to say all that. Keep your distance out there. It's just great to have our footy back in our great state. Stay safe out there, wash your hands, and we'll see you at the footy.